Hello, beautiful humans. So we have a full moon in Capricorn on July 10th, Thursday. Depending on where you are in the world, it's going to hit at a different time. Go ahead and check that out via Google. Or if you talk to your AI assistant, they will tell you. Now, I will say that the energy that we're currently in is supportive to the mother. The sun is in Cancer. Cancer is ruled by the moon. It's ruled by emotion. It's ruled by the mother. And so what happens when we are in Cancer season is that we walk through our mother story. How is it that we mother others, i.e., how do we show up in love to others? And how do we allow others to love us? Now, the full moon is in Capricorn. It's the papa, it's the masculine. It is how we have created support systems to do in the world. It's also governments, it's religion, it's organized thought is a good way of describing it. And it's how we were raised by the masculine to achieve in the world, right? Usually we want to prove to our fathers or the masculine in the family that we are going to do good in society. What I'm getting at is this full moon is going to be full on creating a dynamic between the mother and the father archetype in your life. So how you were raised or what kind of ego binding emotional stories and unhealed wounding you have with the mother archetype and the father archetype in your life, and how you go about utilizing the feminine and the masculine in your personal life is what's playing out with this full moon. So what I would suggest is to look at your mama stories, right? Like, how did you feel as if you could show up to your mother in your childhood and be loved by her? My eye's itching, which means that pay attention to that. And this full moon is about the father archetype and how it learned to do the right thing, be a level of integrity and honesty so that you showed up to creating structure in order to feel safe to show up in emotion. Okay, so some of us at some point in our adulthood we're able to see the difference between the stories that we learned from our parents, the mama and the papa, Cancer and Capricorn, and a why in the road became clear. How are you going to navigate differently? How are you going to show up to your emotions differently? And how are you going to show up to your money stories or accomplishments different, that are your own stories without their approval? When you did this, if you've done this, it will create a really great jump off point with this full moon in Capricorn to create more structure in the ability for you to show up to the emotional vulnerability of having authentic relationships with the people in your life. So this full moon is really asking, do you feel safe? Or are you creating structured boundaries and integrity and honesty and financial support and community support for the person that you're becoming and showing up to, so that people can see the mother, the nurturer, the loving, affectionate, abundant subtlety of unconditional love within your relationships to your community, to your friends, and to your lovers. So my suggestion to you on this full moon is to write out your story about your mama. What stories do you still hold with yourself and with your mother in order for you to show up to her seeing you, her giving you validation? And obviously, if you don't have per se a mom, you still have feminines in your life in which you seek to have that expression and that unconditional love and that emotional dialoguing and writing the story down of how you can give that energy to yourself without needing a feminine, with recognizing that we all have the feminine, that unconditional love within us to be expressed by us, for us, to have the energy to give to others, right? We need to be able to look ourselves in the mirror and say, I love you as you are, completely and unconditionally, because you are a gift. And this vehicle, i.e., this, human body, is here as an expression of how much I love myself. And then the story and archetype of the masculine, Capricorn. How do you show up to integrity, truth, boundaries of what you know is right, and how you then make other people safe by showing up for them in those ways. And what stories you hold because you didn't have a father, or you did have a father that showed you the example of what those things looked like. Write those two stories down, walk through them, find the balance of those stories within yourself, and see how you can give those archetypes full expressions within yourself, and then burn what you don't want to take forward, what doesn't serve you as the healed, or at least working with the concept of knowing how to balance those two within you so that they can show up more balanced in your life. And then write the story on how you're going to show up for yourself in the masculine, i.e., I'm going to do this to be more authentic, more honest, more building in my community, in my friendships, in my relationships, because that's what Capricorn is. That will then allow me to express myself more from the feminine, the Cancer, which is loving, affectionate, abundant in being loving towards others and myself. Those, and then write that love story to yourself as if you were your own beautiful soulmate, because you are, and see and open that letter for yourself within the next 28 days to show you how good you're doing in balancing the masculine and the feminine, so it feels safe to be an expression of the child that you are loving and celebrating into this world, and it holds a balanced energy so that it can be the best version of you, your inner child seeking your parenting in a very balanced and loving way. And how you show up to that inner child is how you show up to others in this reality, in this world, and to other souls. So as always, I'm Nery, I guide. I'm grateful for this beautiful tribe that is my soul family. You guys are my human family, and I'm so appreciative of you. And hopefully, if you want to do the homework that Source is putting in front of you, that it works as a way to balance your life. Happy full moon in Capricorn, beautiful souls, and I will talk to you soon.